Perfection is such a strong word when it comes to video games. So, why do I say that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is the perfect Dragon Ball game? Stay tuned to find out. What's good, YouTube? Dmgaming here, guys, and today we're going to discuss why I feel Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is the perfect game. But before we get into all of that, guys, please share this video on Reddit. There's different subreddits, Dragon Ball subreddits. The videos is a really good place. The video subreddit is a really good place to share it as well. But it helps the video to get out to more people. It helps us to grow. A lot of y'all do feel like I deserve more subscribers. Will help me to get out in front of more people to show them that we're here. Also, follow me on these social media platforms. We're also on Facebook at Dmgaming06, and subscribe to the channel by clicking the sub button. Turn on the bell icon to all notifications so you don't miss a single upload or notification in the community tab. So, guys, perfection. Like I said, that's a very strong word, and it's not thrown around, or it tends to get thrown around pretty loosely. Now, I do want to give credit for today's video idea from Nick Camp. Shout out to Nick. Nick said, next video, how many Dragon Ball Z games did they mix up into this one and how they perfected it with their style of gameplay? And if you've been watching the videos and following the channel, you know that I've hinted at a lot of different elements from different Dragon Ball games that are in this game. Well, today we're going to make a video dedicated to that. So I'm going to start with Dokkan Battle. Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, you have it's a mobile game, first of all, and you basically draw characters, and they range on a scale from rare or neutral R all the way up to LR, which is legendary rare, or you have normal characters as well. But the element that they took away from Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle is the orbs system, the Z orbs. So if you watch the first gameplay, Goku's collecting those orbs. The Z orbs are, I feel like, taken from the Dokkan Battle, as well as Dragon Ball Z Legends, which is also a mobile game and kind of plays the same way as Dokkan, only you're able to control the characters. There are some differences, but two things that they took from that was the orb system. Now, how the orbs will work in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has yet to be determined. Dimitri, the community manager from Bandai Namco, did say that they would be used in upgrading the character. Now, there's still a lot of things we haven't seen in the game with research and development and things like that. But I'm thinking that, you know, the orbs are going to be used kind of like the same way that they're used in Dokkan Battle and Dragon Ball Legends, Dragon Ball Z Legends, in allowing the character to somewhat acquire new skills or surpass their limits in a sense. So what's next? You look at the Budokai series, the Tenkaichi series, and the destructible environments was one of the bigger draw factors for me. The destructible environments, as well as the cutscenes for the super attacks. This was the first time we've sort of seen that was in the Budokai series. You look back even on the Super Nintendo games, the Super Batoden series and things like that, there weren't really cutscenes for it. And the first time we seen those cinematic cutscenes, super and ultimate attacks, was in the Budokai Tenkaichi series. Both of those two series. Tenkaichi, in my opinion, did it a little bit better because it provided the whole destructible earth-looking thing. Budokai had it in there as well, but that's when we began to see it in Dragon Ball games. Later, we didn't really see it as much. It wasn't in Battle of Z. It wasn't in Ultimate Tenkaichi. It was in that game for sure. But, you know, Raging Blast didn't have that. It had the cutscene animation, but it didn't have so much the destructible environments. And actually, since the Budokai Tenkaichi series and Ultimate Tenkaichi series, we hadn't really seen a true destructible environment where you damage something and it stays damaged. But that's what they took from the Budokai series. And I used to remember sitting back when I was younger, looking and playing all of these Dragon Ball games and thinking, wow, this game was almost perfect if they just had did this. And in the next year, they would have that, but they would miss out on something else. And I used to always think to myself, they need to make a Dragon Ball game and basically put all of these together into one game. Thus, we have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. In my personal opinion, I feel that RPGs should be the standard for anime games. Like, I mean, you can still make the fighting games, you can still make the adventure games, But in my opinion, every anime that they do a game for should also have an action RPG video game attached to it. This is the perfect mold for a Dragon Ball Z game, and that's why I feel this game will be the perfect Dragon Ball Z game. Does that mean it's going to have every single thing that we want and more in it? No. So what do you mean by perfection, DM? By perfect, I mean the foundational system to build upon in the future. This is the perfect foundation. Why? Because the game has, it's not open world, where you can't have an open world with a Dragon Ball game and stay true to the story. However, with each stage you go to, look how massive these stages are. In the fighting, they're fighting right now, and guess what? There's no walls. If you can see it, you can go to it and fight there. That is amazing. You can't argue with that. You can't debate that. The graphics, in my opinion, CyberConnect 2 has always done great graphics. So I don't think that they really necessarily took anything from a different Dragon Ball Z game, but Dragon Ball FighterZ was one of the newer games, aside from Burst Limit, that had astonishing graphic fidelity. The shading, the lighting, and things like that were perfect. And I feel like this game builds on that. So not saying that they took anything away from those developers or anything, but we compare them to that. So that's why I'm adding it onto the list. Now, as far as story goes, I mean, I guess you could say they took it from every Dragon Ball Z game, aside from Xenoverse and Battle Z kind of things, you know, where you actually get to play through the story. However, this game is unique, and this is where they put their own spin on the gameplay. Where you have previous Dragon Ball games that are very linear, you just go from boss to boss, there is no in between. You look at Budokai 3, where you can actually fly around the map, yet and still there is no interaction. You can't do anything aside from fight. This is where Ultimate Tenkaichi comes in and kind of sets its own trend. Yeah, Legacy of Goku, you could walk around, do some of the same things that you could do in this game. Where the difference comes in is the lore that is going to be explored in this game that hasn't been explored in any other Dragon Ball game to date. How are they able to accomplish this? The developers for this game have done a very good job of working with Akira Toriyama to get some of the questions answered about the unanswered lore for Dragon Ball, but also to kind of merge the anime and the manga. You have some people saying, well, the game is just like the manga. You have people saying, oh, it's just like the anime. They said it's going to be like the anime. They actually said both. It's going to be a combination of both the anime and the manga. And that is awesome. It's going to provide a very unique story that we haven't seen. And that's why I try to tell people, it's not the same old story. You also have to take into account how they molded the game to where when you're playing the game, you're going to be immersed in this game. It's not going to feel like any other Dragon Ball game we've played. Not even Legacy of Goku. Why won't it feel like Legacy of Goku? Because the way the game looks and some of the other things that's going to be in the game that wasn't in Legacy of Goku, it's kind of hard to get really immersed in a 2D fighter or a 2D action RPG game. Not saying that you couldn't be immersed in Legacy of Goku, but when you have, look at the graphics on that. You didn't see that in Legacy of Goku. These cinematic cutscenes that CyberConnect 2 brings to this game is something else that we have not seen in any Dragon Ball Z game. Now, I know people are going to say FighterZ has great cinematic cutscenes, and they do, but I have to be honest with you, not to the level of this game with CyberConnect 2 behind the helm. Look at how Piccolo destroys the moon. You can feel this explosion building up, and you can feel the power from that. That's where the gameplay is going to differ. This game is going to make you feel powerful. When your character is strong, grinding through the game, leveling up, doing training, eating all the side missions, you are going to get an appreciation for how strong your character is. Why? Because balancing is not an issue because there's no multiplayer in the game. That's another way that this game does a good job of being unique while taking away from different Dragon Ball games at the same time. This game is going to be unique in that regard. The story is going to be captivating. The graphics, the cutscenes, the quick time events, it's all going to be very seamless to give you the sense that you're in control of everything, that you are the one living in this anime. And that's the message that Akira Toriyama wanted to send, and that's the message that he wanted to deliver to us with this game and working with them in this game. to say that this is a living, breathing world that you exist in. And I think that altogether encompasses the uniqueness that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is going to bring to the table, guys. So really, the game is, like I said, you're going to see a lot of different elements from a lot of different Dragon Ball Z games. The ones that I've pointed out are the most prominent things, and there's still a lot more to be revealed about this game. So this is a topic that we're going to more than likely come and revisit again when we find out more about the game. The biggest thing that I'm waiting to hear about is training. I'm waiting to hear how training will work, because hopefully that'll add to the uniqueness of this game, where training will actually matter for once and increase your character's power level and things like that. That way it remains true to the anime. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. What games, what Dragon Ball games have they kind of taken away from and added to this game to make their own mix? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.